I imagine. There's the Elite Series. Still loading up to the channel, just give it a bit. There we are. So the stream's up, the chat's up. We're all good to go. So, hello and welcome everyone to round 3 of the PlayStation Pacific Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. We are back in this time at Bahrain International Circuit for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Opened in 2004 and costing $150 million. This 5.41 kilometer, 15 turn racetrack is one of only a few Tilcadromes that people regard as a solid racetrack. There are plentiful amount of overtaking opportunities here. The major ones into turns 1, 4 and 11 with the assistance of DRS. We may see some action into the hairpin of turn 8 and the final braking zone at turn 14. But a big thing for the drivers that they have to tackle tonight is the several technical sections throughout the circuit. You've got the tricky acceleration zone at turn 2. You've got the high speed S's of 5, 6, 7, particularly turn 7 and that notorious outside curve that has claimed several drivers in the recent past on Race Spec. I'm sure Plevs could tell you about that. I'm sure a couple of other drivers from Pacific Tier 1 could tell you about that. But the biggest technical part of the racetrack, of course, is the tricky braking zone between turns 9 and 10. We'll see drivers locking up, going down the hill into the tight left-hand bend. We'll see drivers laying down a big carpet of rubber down into that braking zone. It'll be rather fascinating to watch during the race just to see how big that carpet gets. But as this is a no assist tier, drivers don't have to worry about the fact that Bahrain is a assist friendly circuit. Has been for some time actually, particularly ABS. If you have ABS turned on around here, you are just miles quicker compared to anyone not using any assist. But with that out of the way, we probably cover a bit of the news from last race over in Barcelona. And I'm pleased to report that there hasn't been any sort of stewards' inquiries from Spain, so the results stand. From that, Odds Formula is leading the championship on 62 points, as he's not only claimed the win in the first 2 rounds, but also fastest lap in both of the opening rounds. High Contrast is second on 46 points, 16 points behind. Then we got Hilles, ACW, Plevs and Pump 46. They're only separated by 4 points. Hilles on 34, ACW 33, same with Plevs, and then Pump on 30. So a pretty tight tussle towards the top. But it's only early doors in the championship season. There's a lot of racing to unfold here. Excuse me, here on Race Spec Esports. But I think with everything out of the way, we can finally focus on qualifying itself. We got 17 cars on the grid. It's not a full field, but it's a healthy field of cars. A lot of drivers on the soft compound tyre. Strategy is kind of interesting around here. Soft medium, soft hard seems to be the way to go. Some drivers may attempt a 2-stop strategy as well. Tell you what, we'll use Plevs here. We'll take you on a guided tour of the Bahrain International Circuit. Heading down the pit straight as Nick jumps to pole position. Plevs will slam on the brakes for turn 1. Gets it down to 2nd gear, hits the apex nicely, short shifts to 3rd. 4th gear through turn 2, up the hill around 3. Opens DRS and is now going to turn 4, one of the more prominent overtaking spots on the circuit. Gets it down to 3rd gear, short shifts to 4th, just to maximise traction. Through 5 and 6, into the notorious turn 7, and that brutal outside curve, into the hairpin of turn 8. I reckon he overshot that just a little bit there, Plebs, but very tidy at the moment. Through 9, nice wide entry. Try and open up the critical turn 10, so then he can maximise the straight line speed down the back straight away. Towards turn 11, a potential overtaking spot. It's a bit difficult to get it done, and the 50 meter board is missing. into the braking zone. That will irritate drivers who aren't using racing line. I'm pretty sure racing line is still turned on. I'll have to double check that. Through turn 13, it's a nice exit. Now towards the final 2 turns of the racetrack. Turn 14, and then the little right-hand kink of 15. Yes, that little kink there, that's a corner on the official track map. Opens DRS up to the line, and Plebs goes second quickest with a 125.756. Now, tell you what, seeing as it's early doors, I'm going to check something. Assist restrictions. Where are you? Racing line. Okay, so it's turned off by default, I believe. So all the drivers have to put up with that. The 50-meter board being missing there at turn 13. That will annoy basically everybody, because the 50-meter board is quite a critical braking board into turn 11. That's not Oz Formula. That's Oz Formula. Why was that on Power Site then? I had the... whatever game. You do you. BP exiting turn 13. One more braking zone that he has to nail. Gets it in third gear. Modulates the throttle nicely. Uses all the curb on the exit. DRS open up to the line. BP will set a 25.796. Goes 5th quickest. Several drivers just backing out, backing off. Got smoke grass on an out lap. Power Site, I believe, isn't on a flying lap. No, definitely not. What about Ferrari Pro? He might be. He's up by 7 thousandths in the first sector. Around the tricky braking zone of 9 and 10. Nice and wide on the entry again to open up the corner. You don't want to be turning too much on the braking zone either. Otherwise you lose a bit of the braking power. You start to lock up, you'll basically understeer away from turn 10. Which will result in you turning harder left to try and combat the understeer. You'll wear out your front tyres. It's a very tricky little section of racetrack. Don't really understand how tricky it is until you turn ABS off. And also traction control. It's quite a difficult traction zone at the exit of turn 10. Ferrari Pro setting at 26.3. Where does that put in P10? See, I wouldn't normally have the leaderboard up, but it's so unbelievably massive that I kind of have to turn it off every so often. And there's an awful camera shot down this back straight. Not this one here, although this isn't great, because look, the car disappears behind the leaderboard. How useless is that? It's unbelievable just how poorly designed that leaderboard is. It's a little thing, but it just sort of perfectly demonstrates how unfinished this game really is. The leaderboard is massive. Leo, he's coming around turn 1 into 2. He's on the medium tyre as well. And he just invalidated there at turn 3. Smoke grass. Nice run there through turn 10. Oh, he's got turn 11 to negotiate. Brings it down to 4th gear. Takes it very nicely. Now turn 12. This corner has caught several drivers out over the years in F1 2019, F1 2020, where if you touch the inside curb, you're basically guaranteed to spin. It's quite a tall curb, it really unsettles the car. And if you're unlucky enough, you'll end up in a barrier. Smoke grass will cross the line, 12th quickest with a 27.4. Oz Formula, he's got Aston Martin. That's in front, that was Zach getting out of the way there. Through turn 11. And here we come up to turn 12. Plevs getting out of the way there. You want to avoid that inside curve. Very nasty. Purple to the second sector as well. Oh, that's clumsy. That was very clumsy. But I understand what he was doing. He was just trying to get as far to the left as possible in preparation for turn 14. And he validates his lap, and he does a 24.6. Tell you what, he might have just done that deliberately, now that I think about it. ACW jumps to the top with a 25.3. I say he might have done it deliberately because he might want to do a time on the mediums. Instead of slowing down and basically ruining a representative lap, he invalidates so then he knows how quick he can go on the softs. He can then chuck on the mediums and have a rough idea of how quick he should be. I know it's a long-winded theory, but, you know, I might just be right, you never know. Leo, though, he's on the mediums. Has been for a little while, in fact. On the previous lap, he was on mediums. So he just might have invalidated his previous lap. He's on another. Coming through 13. Important corner to get right. If you get it wrong, you ruin your run down this long straightaway towards the penultimate corner. Through said corner. Nice and... Oh, I was going to say nice and easy. And then suddenly it wasn't nice and easy. He does a 27 flat. Now, considering he would have lost a considerable amount of time at the final corner, that's not a bad lap, to be honest. And Oz Formula comes into the pits. You know what? I reckon he just might have invalidated deliberately on that straight, because no one just moves over that far left that quickly. Tactics. Gotta love it. Well, theoretical tactics. I don't know if he actually did that by accident or if he did it deliberately. We'll have to wait and see. And invalidating at the final turn is that Kush will come into the pits. Bit too fast there, but that's out of frustration. Plevs has improved. He's on an in-lap now. He's done a 25.6. His teammate Hilles is going to cross the line and overtakes his teammate, doing a 25.5. Currently 7 thousandths behind Isaac Kush in P3. And there's Oz Formula putting on the medium tyre. So I might just have been right there. DP setting off on a flying lap towards turn 1. Nice and steady on the entry. No hint of a lock-up. No hint of oversteer through turn 2 either. Alright, into turn 4 now. Third gear modulates the throttle. A bit of a wiggle, but pretty solid. But he's down by 1/10.5 in the first sector. The majority of the time can be found, though, in this second sector. A lot of corners you have to get through. A lot of areas where you can make a mistake. A lot of areas where you can gain time. Here's one of them. Turns 9 and 10. Gets through that very nicely. Down the back straight away with DRS wide open. Towards turn 11. 8th gear, 315 kilometers an hour. Gets it into 4th, 5th gear, 6th gear on the exit. Through turn 12 now. You have to keep it pinned. Very nice. And purple, in fact, to the second sector. He's found time. Oh, but the McLaren distracted him a little bit there. That was Hilles on an in-lap. Unfortunate, but these things do happen. Eye contrast. P2 in Silverstone. P2 in Barcelona. Bit of a wiggle there at turn 4. Fair to say that eye contrast has been very fast and very consistent. But I'm pretty sure he would like to go one better from the previous 2 weeks. First gear. Short shifts to 4th gear. Really utilise the torque from the 1.6 litre V6 turbo hybrid engine. A lot of torque coming out of that thing, especially from the hybrid part of the engine. And up by just over a tenth in the second sector, so our contrast has found a fair bit of time. Around the final 2 corners now. Third gear, modulates the throttle nicely. Coming up to the line now. And jumps to pole position. 125.267. He overtakes ACW. He's on an out lap, same with Izzat Kush. And actually, Izzat's about to start a flying lap. Down the pitch straight away we go. There's a Williams just behind. That would be Anthro, as Leo is still on an out lap. Leo, in fact, still trying to set times on that medium compound as Hillez retires in the pit lane. So the McLaren driver is satisfied. Best they can hope for is P4 with 2 minutes left in qualifying. Through the S's, Izzat is purple in Sector 1. Coming up to the hairpin now, there's a Alfa Romeo in front, Power Sight. Power Sight's not on a flying lap. He should get out of the way. Does so. Through 9, into 10. Leaderboard being so massive, I couldn't see the apex into turn 10, but it looked like Izzat took that fairly nicely. Through 11 now, but missing the apex. I could see that quite clearly. Missing the apex by about a metre. Sector 2 says, not purple. And I think Izzat lost about 400ths in that sector. Not ideal. 2 corners remaining now. Brings it down from 8th to 4th gear. Gets on the power as early as possible. Doesn't use any of the outside curb. DRS open up to the line. Izzat jumps to pole with a 125.123. Now if Izzat had a better second sector, they might have cracked into the 24s. ACW. Through turn 10 we go. We've got turn 11 coming up. On the brakes hard. 4th gear. Very nicely through there. Up the hill, round turn 12. Sector 2 says up by a tenth and a half. Needs to find a bit more in this final sector in order to take pole position away from Izzat. Through 14. Then 15. Is that enough? ACW will open DRS, will cross the line and jump to pole position with a 125.027. Can anybody challenge that? Clev's on a flying lap. I can see Oz Formula as well. Let's have a look. Because Oz Formula did a 24.6 on a set of softs. That is a Haas that has spun round. Is that BPV8 or was that Roscoe Arm? It might have been BPV8 because Roscoe Arm is on the back straightaway, I believe. There's the white dot there heading towards turn 11. 25 flat is the time to beat. Did a 24.6 on the soft. Down the back straightaway. Or rather, the final proper straightaway. Towards 14 and 15. Don't think it will be enough. This formula will cross the line. P11. That's not at all optimal. So not a great lap. Though he is half a second quicker than Leo on the same tyre. So his formula will start outside the top 10. And that appears to be qualifying over. It's ACW on pole. 1 minute 25.027. Beating a 125.123. 1/10 separating the top 2 at the end of qualifying. Then we got our contrast P3, Plebs P4, Hillez P5, making it a solid qualifying for McLaren. Pump P6, BP 7th, Roscoe Arm in 8th. Zach in 9th, then Nick rounds out the top 10. We'll have a look at the rest of the drivers as soon as we see the results screen. All right, Ferrari Pro. Throttle isn't working the best. That would suck, especially around here. There's a lot of long straights. It's not great to have a throttling issue around any track, but especially a track like this. So best of luck in the race, buddy. Won't be easy, that's for sure. Alright, loading screen. Why is this taking so long? What's going on here? Oh, thanks, game. Couldn't see the... whatever. Thanks. Appreciate it, game. Worthless heap of junk. Right, we'll go through the rest of the order after qualifying here on the formation lap, rather than the results screen, because this game is great. Now, we shouldn't have to worry about wet weather because, well, it quite frankly doesn't exist around here at Bahrain. I would like to see the mathematical chance of rain occurring at Bahrain. Like, in the game. Is it actually 0, or is there, like, the smallest chance that there's a wet weather race at Bahrain? I would love to see. Well, we're about to set off on the formation lap. Now, everyone inside the top 10 will be starting on the soft compound tyre. Sorry, Izzo, what will the drivers outside the top 10 do? Well, let's have a look. Oz Formula is going to be the first of those cars. Press it too many times. Starting P11 on the medium, same with Ferrari Pro in P12. Smokegrass P13, the only driver starting on the hard tyre, Leo in 14th, with his teammate Antho in 15th, both of them on the mediums too. Then Powersight and the Stone Tower will start from the back of the field, also on the medium compound tyre. There's the predicted tyre stop strategy. Pit window, lap 13 to 15. That is the pit window to go onto the hard tyre and go to the end of the race. So there's probably going to be a safety car at some point during this race. We've seen how frequent the safety car has come out in the recent past in this game. And there are plenty of areas where the drivers can lose it and end up in the barrier, retiring from the race, and then the safety car will come out. Prezzo, within the white lines, mate. Like a colouring in book. It's ill-advised to go outside the white lines. Hey, what do I know? It'll be an interesting start as well. Those soft tyres, they'll burn up very quickly, but it'll be the quickest tyre for about, I'd say 3, maybe 4 laps, maybe 5. They really just need to make full use of these soft tyres while they're still good. And hope luck falls in their favour. Or just turn yourself into Michael Schumacher or something and just go absolutely flat out all the way through the race. Just like he did. What year was that? 2006 French Grand Prix at Magny-Cours, where Schumacher and Ferrari did a full stop strategy to beat Fernando Alonso in the Renault. What made it so remarkable was that Michael was basically told, do qualifying laps every single lap. That's exactly what he did, and he took the lead on the last lap. Quite a remarkable performance. Everyone's lined up and ready to go. Here we go. Ready for the race start. We have 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Izaf converts well off the line. They have the inside line. In fact, they're through already into the lead. Drivers scrambling all over the racetrack to try and find a bit of circuit to race on. Through turn 2 now, side by side. Contrast and Plebs, I believe, sorting themselves out. Oh, that Haas almost going into the barrier there through turn 3. Dearie me. That was a big, big moment. Oh, and another big moment there. That was Gilles. Big wiggle. Into the hairpin of turn 8. No major incidents as of yet, which is good to see. Everyone is running. Everyone is more or less behaving themselves. We'll have to wait and see how the rest of the race pans out. But for the opening lap, it's top marks. Everyone has gotten through relatively okay. But Izzat has pulled away out of front, and Oz Formula is on a charge up into P8. Starting 11th. Ready. Oh, hello. There's the first major incident. G-Force Zach, I spoke too soon, and that's Izzat Kush. Oh, I'm sorry. Leaderboard glitch. So he hasn't actually dropped through the order, it's just the leaderboard's deciding to muck around. These two are mucking around too through turn 3 towards turn 4. Plebs is under assault here from ACW and Eye Contrast. Both of them go down the inside through turn 4 into turn 5 and 6 we go. ACW gives up the position as the leaderboard is continuing to have a fit. Oh, and Plebs goes into the back of Eye Contrast. That's less than ideal. But while these fellas squabble for position, Izzat is just pulling away out in front. Enjoying life. And that's the Stone Tower. Having a moment at the hairpin of turn 8. Let's see, the leaderboard isn't exactly working. What's that, a gap of maybe 1.2, maybe 1.3 seconds? And someone has spun, that's Nick in the Alfa Romeo. There he is there. Rejoining onto the racetrack. Down. Contrast setting fastest lap. He's not letting Izzat go. Aston Martin driver has got some serious pace as DRS is now enabled. The leaderboard is still mucking around. For goodness sake. There's Izzat. There's Eye Contrast. Both drivers have got considerable speed. Plebs holding firm in P3. ACW, BPV8, Gilles in P6. And spinning! BP into the barrier, big time! Probably damage on that Haas. I wouldn't doubt it for a second. Though the front wing actually looks okay. Sometimes the spectator view and what's actually going on track can be a little bit different when it comes to damage. You might just have a bit. And spinning is somebody. Who's that? It was Oz Formula. Was who it was. I thought it was. I hate those dots. They're so similarly coloured. The Alpine and the Williams cars. I thought that was the Williams. It wasn't. It was the Alpine of Oz Formula. Lost the position down to 9th. Or running wide there is Leo in P10. Now, leaderboard, are you behaving now? Sort of. You're sort of behaving. Roscoe Arm and Ferrari Pro battling. This is for P7. Ferrari Pro should get DRS here. Probably have a go into turn 4. Roscoe Arm defends hard. Ferrari Pro doesn't mind though, looking around the outside. Roscoe Arm gives him room. Ferrari Pro can't get the traction down though. Roscoe hangs on to P7 but gets a shocking run through the S's. Into the hairpin. The Ferrari looks. They give each other room. And there's Oz Formula, hello. Around the outside, what a move. Into P8. What a great bit of driving that was. Caught me off guard. And here we go, heading towards turn 11. The inside line. They're side by side. But Oz is through, and that is the Stone Towel again, I believe. Having a moment at the hairpin. Ferrari Pro right on the back on Roscoe Arm. Heading towards the penultimate corner. Both cars should get DRS here. Can Ferrari Pro make any sort of move? Into the pits goes one of the Alphas. Roscoe Arm looking down the inside. Clobbering over the inside curb. Through turn 2, bit of a wiggle. DRS again heading towards turn 4. A nice tight battle between these guys, and it's been fairly respectful. Good to watch. A little bit of a moment there through the S's, but kept it under control. Right, leaderboard. Behaving? Looks like it. I think it sorted itself out. But I imagine these soft guys are getting closer to their pit window, maybe 1 or 2 laps away now. Just keep an eye out. Either that, or they've stretched their tyres out to about, I want to say lap 9, lap 10. Then they might do a one-stop going from softs to mediums, then trying to do a really long stint on the medium tyre, or going on to the hard tyre. The hard tyre is by far and away the more safer option, but the hard tyre is quite slow compared to the mediums. If any of the soft drivers wanted to do a 2-stop, we would have seen them pit a little while ago, or at least or at the very least pit now. Through the S's. Round the hairpin. Again, not quite close enough, any of these guys, to attack one another. Oh, missing the apex completely there, Ferrari Pro. Deary me. Opens up a small window of opportunity for Leo if he's got a run. Definitely doesn't, though. Doesn't quite have the speed to attack, and that's the Stone Towel again. Having a moment, bringing out yellow flags. Not a great day for him at all. But he's still in the race. We still have 17 cars. So it's Formula making moves on pump. Ooh, a bit of contact perhaps. Slotting in behind. Pop follows in the slipstream. Oz Formula will try and pull away with the power of DRS. Pump completely backs off there. I don't think he'll attack into turn 4 either, as Leo has gotten by Ferrari Pro into P9. Through the S's. Ooh, a bit of an awkward run there for Hillers. That outside curve is quite scary now at turn 7. Ooh, a bit of a wiggle there at turn 8 too. Stone Towel a 5-second penalty for speeding. And there's retirement. We're down to 16. Spoke too soon, seems. Is that enough? Understandably. Again, not quite close enough, Hillez. But he might have a go into turn 1 on the next lap. There we go, he's left the session. Fair enough. Hopefully his AI won't cause any trouble. Ah, it's despawned in the pit lane. Fantastic. Definitely won't cause any trouble that way. Down the pit straight away. Will he have a go, Hillers? He's got momentum. He's got a run. He looks to the inside. Commits to it as well. ACW doesn't fight. Lets a McLaren through into P4. Oh, and Hillers still has DRS as well, so he's able to pull away down this straightaway. And ACW staying right there, keeping the battle alive. There's Oz Formula on a charge. He'd be in a fantastic position towards the end of the race. Same with Leo. In fact, all the medium runners will be in a pretty good position because they haven't really fallen away from the soft runners. Kept up relatively well. ACW now under a lot of pressure. Oz Formula all over his gearbox. Heading down towards turn 14. ACW can't counter-attack from that. Quite simple, Oz Formula goes through. Now Oz Formula, well, he gains another position. Hillers going into the pits on the start of lap 9. Alrighto, so Bahrain averages 10 wet days per year, so it's about a 0.25% chance of wet weather. That's a great start. So it is possible, but it's just incredibly unlikely. I mean, hey, maybe one day, my time commentating or racing, we'll see a wet weather race here. And it'll catch everybody off guard. Definitely spice things up, that's for sure. Tight battle here for P6. Roscoe in position to attack. Leo right behind, same with Ferrari Pro. Through turn 12. Through 13. I reckon Roscoe will have a go into turn 1. But Leo's got a hell of a run. Right on the back of the Haas. Pump is going into the pit lane. Same with... No, Roscoe stays out. Here comes Leo. Got momentum. Around the outside, he switches to the inside. And he's through, but he's very wide on corner exit. Compromised run through turn 2 as well. Neither car has DRS, but Ferrari Pro has. Here he comes. Down the inside. No contact, and Ferrari Pro is through into P6. So in the matter of only a few corners, Roscoe has fallen down from... Oh, dearie me! Did he just go into the back of Ferrari Pro there? Certainly looked like it. Yes, Roscoe down 2 positions from where he was at the start of the lap. And only a few corners. If he had DRS down that straightaway before turn 4, it might be a different story, but he didn't. Rather unfortunate. Oz Formula on the attack. In fact, he's going to pass Plebs here. Into turn 14, they're side by side. And through he goes into P3. Izzat is into the pits. And the entire contrast goes into the lead. Plebs goes in as well. Set of mediums for Izzat. Plebs. Set of mediums as well. still a bit difficult to get used to the fact that this is now a one-stop soft medium. Because that's what these guys are going to try and do. Go to the end on this tyre. Kind of remarkable now. Because this track was easily either a two-stop or a medium-hard race back in F1 2020. Now you can pull off a soft medium. So long as you're careful. Two McLaren drivers battling for position. Get themselves sorted. Hiller's on the hard tyre. He's definitely trying to go to the end. But I reckon Plebs is doing the same as well. They'll probably get into puncture territory at the end of the race, but they should make it. Should. Let's see. Is that right behind Anthro? Battle for P5. Eye Contrast is into the pits. Into turn 14. As that's a McLaren, that's Hilles. And that's a missing front wing too. Well, there's Hilles' race out the window. As Eye Contrast, he's gone onto a set of mediums. He'll have to pit. Get this car fixed. Oh, careful, don't speed into the pit lane. Right, Hilles will be putting on a set of mediums, I would think. New front wing. Look at that. All the way down to 16th. Lost a lot of time because of that. I think they will need a safety car in order to salvage anything from this race. As Formula still leading the way. He's got an 8.2 second margin to this man, Leo. Ferrari Pro in P3. Doing pretty well with the throttling issue, I might add. Doing very well. Is that P4 on fresh mediums. Keeping it very nice, very tidy. Anthro P5, Eye Contrast P6 on fresh mediums. Smokegrass P7 on a set of hards. Those are the hards he started on. And Plebs P8, ACW 2 seconds behind in 9th. And Parasite rounds out the top 10. Pump in P11, followed by Roscoe Arm and BPV8. In fact, I might stay with this. Oh, and Pump, a big moment. This opens up a massive door for Roscoe Arm. A easy move. He's through into 11th. Will BP have a go? To turn 1. Not close enough. As Zach makes a move on Nick at turn 1 into P14. Nick, though, got to run through 2 and 3. Oh, and hard blocking there from Zach. Not giving Nick any opportunity down the inside. Nick, though, committing to the outside, but can't get the traction down. Zach into P14. Very nice move there. Tough racing, but, you know, I'm all for it. There's no contact between the drivers. Just really hard racing. No DRS just yet for Roscoe Arm. He's closing in on Parasite. As Plebs is on the back of Smokegrass. Smokegrass on 12 lap old hards. Down the pit straight away. I reckon Plebs is going to have a go. He opens DRS. It should be an easy move. 3 goes, and that is Oz Formula in the pits. No, it's not. It's Williams. Oh, it's Anthro. I thought it was... That put me off there. I thought that was Leo. No, it's Anthro. Put it on the hard tyre. Again, The Williams dot and the Alpine dot are so similar. So difficult to tell them apart. Power site falls to 11th, being overtaken by BPV8. Fairly simple move, that one. Izzat's now on the back of Ferrari Pro. There's a battle for third, heading down the back straightaway towards turn 11. Izzat down the inside. A simple move, but effective. Into P3 he goes. I think ACW might try a similar thing here. Not close enough, unfortunately, for ACW. He's got fresher tyres. He might be able to make a move stick into turn 14. If he gets a good enough run out of turn 13. Which he doesn't quite. Still, he should be able to pass down the pit straight. Should be fairly simple. And that's power side out. There he is there. And a safety car has been deployed. Oh my goodness me. Safety car. And everybody's in. So Ferrari Pro onto softs. Uh-oh. Why are you on softs? Should be on fresh mediums. Basically, everyone's going to pit for mediums. You have to. Mediums will easily make it from here. Double stack for Haas. This will hold BPV8 just a little bit. Tyres off, tyres on. Ooh, bit laggy. Oh well. He's in front of Nick, so P13 for BP. So he's only lost one position, and that's okay, because the field will bunch back up once everyone files behind the safety car. And there we go. The time of the power side brought out the first safety car of the night. It's helped this man out tremendously, but what does he do? Or might not have helped him out, because he's basically going to be forced onto the hard tyre. I don't think the softs could... Oh, could the softs make it from here? Drive-through penalty for BPV8. Speeding under safety car. Oh dear. That's ruined his race. It's a set of softs. Look, I don't think he can go onto the hard tyre. It'll just burn away. Sorry, rather. I was talking about the soft tyre then. The hard tyre isn't quick enough. It just gets swallowed up. The problem with the soft tyre though is that it burns away way too quickly. It's good for about 5-6 laps and then it just dies. Leo's done the same thing. But for the first 5 or so laps, soft tyre is incredibly quick. You have to be so careful at the end. So with this safety car, we've had quite the leaderboard shuffle. Izzat Kush is in the lead. Oz Formula second. Leo in third place. Ferrari Pro in P4. Now Oz Formula, Leo, Ferrari Pro, they're all on the soft tyre. Pumpers on the hards. I Contrast is the first driver on fresh mediums in P6. Anthro's on the hard tyre, but they are fresh. They're only 1 lap old. Plev's P8 on medium, same as Smokegrass, ACW, Roscoe Arm, Zach, BP, Nick, and Hillers. This has saved his race for sure. And also with BPV8, they will have to serve a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. Basically ruining BP's race. Rightio, this is going to be very interesting. Who's made the right call? Who's made the right call? I mean, if I was out there, I would want to be on fresh mediums because I know they get to the end. And Oz Formula demonstrated at the beginning of the race how good the medium tyres are once the soft tyre dies off. And the safety car should be into pit lane at the end of this lap, I think. Depends on how quickly Gilles catches up to the back of the field. And I don't really want to look at warnings either, because I tend to curse people once I start doing that. I don't want to curse anybody. Alright, this is... You know, the guys who pit onto soft tyres, they might have pulled this off. It's... their tyres are going to be very dead at the end of the race. But, for those first few laps, they're going to be very, very rapid. They can open up a margin, pull away from the medium and hard runners, and then just pray they've got enough life at the end of the race to make it to the checkered flag. And if the medium tyres come good at the end of the race, they got enough life to defend their position. Leo has a penalty as well. 3 seconds next to his name, which may hamper him just a little bit. See, the drivers around him haven't got any penalties yet. We've still got a lot of racing to go. Safety car is in this lap, as I thought it would be. So Izzat will control the field. Oz Formula is going to be a fairly important restart. The sooner he can pass Izzat, the sooner he gets past, the better off he'll be. Getting some temperature into the tyres. Izzat taking their time. And he goes. Good restart from Izzat there. Opening up a 7/10 margin as we go back under green flag racing here at Bahrain. Down towards turn 1 we go. Pro looking threatening. Eye contrast even more so down the inside of pump 46. He is through into 5th place. Eye contrast is not mucking around on those tyres. ACW on the attack. Looking left and right to try and pass the Williams. Looking around the outside. Keeps it there. Oh, he's got a nose alongside. He is alongside, but he can't attack Anthro. Anthro holds on for now. Bit of action going on back here. Zach and BP side by side. Remember, BP has got to serve a drive-through for speeding. Tight tussle here in the midfield. Good to watch. But here comes Plebs on the attack. Down the inside into turn 11. Got him past into P6. You can see on the minimap, the field is sort of split into 2 trains. But essentially the top 5, because there's a bit of a gap between Contrast and Plebs. You got P6 and 7, Plebs and Pump. Then you got the train being led by Anthro that goes from 8th all the way down to 15th. So already, field starting to spread out. And into the pits goes BP to serve that drive-through. Through turn 1, then turn 2. ACW has gotten past Anthro. There's the move there in the back of shot. Oz Formula though. Trying to get by ASAP. Through the high-speed S's. Towards the hairpin of turn 8. Again, Oz Formula unable to get by. Over the crest into turns 9 and 10. Leo looking threatening in P3. Onto the back straight away. Towards turn 11 now. Hard on the brakes. All these drivers line astern, ready to attack. Ready to capitalize on any mistake. Is that doing all he can to try and hang on to the lead? Oz Formula. He's holding all the cards. Can he get by? DRS should be enabled. It is enabled. Towards turn 1. Oh, close enough. Ferrari Pro and I Contrast side by side. Contrast round the outside. Gets it done. Into P4. What a move. And here comes Oz Formula. Down the inside into turn 4. He's through and into the lead. Now he needs to pull away. Make full advantage of the clear air. Through the S's. Purple to the first sector as well. Around the hairpin. And through that very nicely. And look at the margin he's made already. Leo, he too would want to get by as soon as possible. Both cars have DRS as they go down the back straightaway towards turn 11. Leo looks. Doesn't commit to a move though. Look at that train behind as well at the back of the field. I'm going to have a look at that in a moment, but I want to keep my eye on the leaders. It's important stuff going on here. Oh, but Leo gets a shocking run through 13. Deary me. A lot of understeer there. Cost him a tenth or two. Can Leo attack now? He'll have DRS. Izzat won't. Oz Formula sets fastest lap with a 26.9. And here comes Leo. Pulls out of the slipstream. And it's a fairly simple move. Into P2 goes the Williams. Overshoots turn 1 though. Bit of a mistake there. And here comes Izzat. On the attack, heading towards turn 4. Leo defends. Izzat around the outside. A bit of action in the background too at turn 1. Around the outside. Izzat commits to it and gets it back. And that is Anthro. Crashing out just after turn 3. And we have a full course yellow. A virtual safety car. So a brief pause in this race. Drivers have to be very careful though. They cannot afford to get a drive-through penalty. We've seen what happens when you get one of those. Look at BPV8 in 14th. 16 seconds behind the next car. So drivers have to be incredibly careful. Let's have a look at this. What's going on back here? Look at this group of cars all tightly bunched together. Oh, big weaving there from Hillers. Just trying to keep temperature in the tyre. Still the virtual safety car is deployed. This is a long virtual. And BP gives himself another drive-through, this time for speeding on the VSC. Oh dear. That's his race. Pretty much over. The best he can hope for is 14th. He just needs to make it to the checkered flag. Zach committing to a move down the inside as well before turn 1. Hillez follows suit. Smoke grass getting swamped there. Nick looking around the outside, can't make any moves stick. Now remember, in Race Spec Esports, the top 15 score points. So BP will score so long as he finishes. What that also means as well, anyone can score fastest lap. So BP might have a go at that towards the end of the race. Try and snag that fastest lap point as Smokegrass locks up into turn 8. Meanwhile, out in front, Oz Formula has pulled a 2-second margin over Izzat, who is still holding second place. It's less than half a second between him and Leo, and it's 2.1 between Leo and Eye Contrast. That gap is steadily shrinking. Might have to keep an eye out for Eye Contrast. Plebs, can he try and make a move on Ferrari Pro here? He'll have DRS. He should get it easy. What about Leo? He too gets it easy. Well before the braking zone, Leo is into second place. Plevs into P5. Very simple moves there. Nothing too complicated about that. And Nick doing a similar thing to Smokegrass. He's into P12. Ferrari Pro on the attack. Plevs defends hard. Round the outside. He commits to it. And Plevs has got to run. They're still alongside. Through turn 5, then turn 6, then turn 7. This could get ugly. Into the hairpin of turn 8. They're still side by side. And Plevs gets through. But Ferrari Pro will get DRS down the back straight away. Around turn 9 and 10, it's going to be critical for Ferrari Pro to get a good exit. Yeah, it's not bad, but Plevs has pulled away a little bit, using his battery. Closing in. Not enough. But he might have a go down the pit straight if he can stay close enough to the McLaren. Through 13. Gap opens up. Just over 4 tenths. Using up a lot of his battery, Ferrari Pro. Keep this fight alive. A bit of understeer there. Is he close enough? Opens DRS. Uses whatever battery he's got left. He's got none now. He's at 0%. He's gaining. Around the outside he tries. Not enough. Not enough momentum. Can he ever go at turn 4 perhaps? And using the battery, using DRS. Does he send it? No. Certainly thought about it. I couldn't commit to a move. This wasn't quite close enough. Some good battling here. Good to watch. Is that still keeping Leo company as Oz Formula continues to lead. Those soft tyres steadily wearing out, lap by lap. Through turn 13. Ooh. Gap is 6 tenths. That should gain a bit down the pit straight away. He'll get a hell of a run. Get a nice toe, get DRS as well. Anthro has left the session. Got a fair bit of battery as well, about 40% or so. Using DRS. Not using any battery, just saving it up. Keeping a surplus of battery locked in his back pocket. Leo, a bit of a mistake there. Can Izzat have a go? He's not going to use any battery as Roscoe makes a move on pump 46 into P8 goes the Haas. So for Izzat, he's going to be playing a waiting game. He's going to wait right to the last second to try and make a move. Pump trying to regain that spot. He's not quite alongside, unfortunately. For him, he'll just stay in P9 for now. Yeah, Izzat's going to be playing a bit of a waiting game. Wait for the right moment to strike. Because right now he knows if he battles Leo, Oz Formula will just pull away. So Izzat needs to pick his battles nice and carefully if he wants to win. I reckon those soft tyres are really starting to feel rather average. We've got 4 laps to go here at Bahrain. 4 laps to settle this thing. Izzat closing in. Going to commit to a move down the inside. That is such a simple move, and Leo did not fight one bit. Oh, in a costly moment through turn 2. Big wheel, but somehow Leo wasn't able to capitalise. I reckon Leo made a similar mistake. Can Izzat close that margin? 4.1 seconds. That's a big margin to close. And how are Oz Formula's tyres? What do the percentages look like? Might be quite the finish. If the cards fall in the right order. I mean, logically speaking, Oz Formula should have this. 4 seconds is quite a big margin with the amount of laps remaining. Oh, and that's wide there from Izzat. Using all the track and then some. There's going to be some battling going on in the midfield in just a moment. Got 3 laps to go. The gap is 4 seconds. Can Izzat do it? Can Oz Formula hang on? Can those soft Pirelli tyres not puncture? Ooh, this will be answered very shortly. ECW closing in. Here we go through turn 2. Then 3. Oh, wow. ACW is right on his gearbox. Round the outside. Ferrari Pro cannot do a thing. Further behind, Roscoe and Pump and Zach. 3-way battle for P9. Though Pump certainly has a big advantage. He doesn't have penalties, neither does Roscoe. I looked at the penalties in the wrong order. Roscoe doesn't have any penalties. Pump doesn't have any. Zach does. So Zach on the back foot. Roscoe should be able to pull away from this. Should. There's 2 laps remaining. Oz Formula just crossed the start finish line. The gap has increased to 4.3. That's the biggest message I've seen. Regardless of the tyre concerns, Oz Formula is pulling away from Izzat. Stands to reason then that there is nothing Izzat can do. He just has to hope that Oz Formula gets into some sort of trouble. Though for Izzat's sake, there is one bit of positive news. He is pulling away from Leo, so he doesn't have to worry about him. As Pump, oh dear, he's got a completely destroyed front wing. As BP gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's going onto the soft tyre to try and set fastest lap. Oh, and destroying the Aramco sign there. Dearie me. The Pump has fallen down to 13th. Some sort of incident at turn 4. I'm not 100% certain if he was helped or if he just made a mistake. What I do know now is he's down in 13th. He's got to make a pit stop to get that front wing fixed. Oz Formula beginning the final lap here at Bahrain with a healthy margin of 4.2 seconds. Those soft tyres only have to last another 5 kilometers. Can they do it? High contrast on the back of Leo. The battle for third on track is on. High contrast has already won the battle for third as Leo has a 3-second time penalty. So he doesn't necessarily need to attack, but I'm sure he would love to finish third on track, not just through penalties. Through the S's. Into the tight hairpin of turn 9. Again, not quite close enough. Smokegrass and Hilles changing position there. Hilles into P12. Smokegrass into 11th. Oh, Leo's wide. And here comes High Contrast with DRS as well. And there goes Leo falling down to 4th. High Contrast onto the podium outright. With Oz Formula, he's backed off quite a bit. The gap has shrunk to 3.8. He can back off because he can afford to. As great drive here from the Alpine driver. It'll be 3 from 3 for Oz Formula. He takes the checkered flag and wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Is that Kush? We'll make it P2. By contrast, will complete the podium in 3rd. Leo in P4, Plebs P5, ACW P6. Ferrari Probe with the technical issues. He'll be satisfied with 7th, I'm sure. Roscoe on P8, Zach 9th. Nick will round out the top 10. No, we'll go to Smokegrass as Hillez demonstrates his frustration by destroying his car. Now, can BP grab fastest lap? That is the question. What's fastest lap? 26.9 he has to beat. That's telemetry. I need lap data. Needs to improve by about 3 or so seconds in order to get it. Around the final 2 turns. Pump Hill finish in P13. What about BP V8? He snags fastest lap, I believe. I think he got it right at the end. We'll double check that though in the final results. But there we go, Oz Formula from P11 to 1st. Starting outside the 10, winning the race. He'll be very happy with that, I'm sure. And as I said, 3 from 3 for him in this championship. Is that P2? And that is podium number 3 for Eye Contrast. 2nd place is in the first 2, and a 3rd place here in Bahrain. There we go. And BP did snag it. A 1:26.650, so he does claim fastest lap. And Leo, he'll be finishing P4, Plebs P5, ACW 6th. Ferrari Pro 7th, Roscoe Arm 8th, Zach 9th, Smokegrass 10th, Hillers 11th, Nick 12th, Pump 13th, BPV8 14th, Anthro 15th. Did not finish, same with Power Sight and the Stone Towel. But congratulations to the top 3 and to Oz Formula for taking the win here at Sakir. Are we just stuck here, are we? Oh, good. Oh, no. Just took a little while for the menu to disappear. Well, there we are. Not a bad race at Bahrain. Definitely had its moments here and there. Some good racing, a bit of drama, as you typically expect in this game. But in the end, a very solid race that I somewhat enjoyed, and I hope everyone watching did as well. But I think with everything wrapped up, it's time to end the stream. Yeah, not a bad race. I've definitely seen better, but, you know, that's a pretty solid race. Some really, really good driving, and there's some tight battles as well. Good, clean overtaking I saw tonight. There wasn't a lot of collisions out there from what I saw anyway. I'm sure drivers had some incidents here and there. But all in all, I'm very satisfied with this event. Very good. But yes, with the race finally over, it's time to end the stream. Tune in on Tuesday though, as the Pacific Series starts excuse me, another week of racing here on Race Spec Esports. But for the Elite Series, we'll have to wait until next Sunday. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for round 4 at Circuit Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. Till then, good night.